Thank you.
Okay. At this time, we're going to do some board announcements and acknowledgements. First, I'd like to say thank you to the maintenance crew. Looks like they got everything clean and swept and looking pretty good. Although somebody chickened out, we had a 2-hour delay tomorrow.
Should have sent that at 7.
Should have sent it now, so I would know about it. Secondly, it's my understanding that somehow we have an all-orange day on Wednesday. So personally, I would like to thank the entire school for doing that. I know that means a lot to you, it means a lot to me, but the fact that we have that kind of unity to have an all-orange day in this school district is fantastic. So pulling all together for one young individual or one young cause is awesome. And that's one thing this town has always done. With that, I'm going to go off topic a little and say congratulations, Mr. Trump. I don't know how anybody else feels, but I think today starts a new day. Anybody else have any other acknowledgements?
Yes, I do.
On the side.
So for those that attend the basketball games, I did share, I think, before, but the national anthem that the students sing, the a cappella, is just phenomenal. And so I just wanted to recognize, they're not all singing at the same time. Sometimes it's maybe 4, maybe more. Melanie Rock, Emma Albright, Colby Cronkleton, I hope I'm saying his name right, Chris Johnson, Rebecca Williams, Deanna Gibbs, Ariana Stoneslifer, Trey Bradner, and Peyton Number. I know we always recognize, the athletes and talk about those things, but I just think, I don't know, this year for some reason, it just sounds phenomenal and beautiful. Not that it has before, but I just feel like it's just extra this year. So I love it. I think it's phenomenal. And if you can get to a basketball game, boys or girls to hear, go, because it's beautiful.
Anything else on this on the right-hand side?
Yeah, to the basketball boosters and the hockey boosters and all the boosters that do their work. The basketball boosters, well, if you're part of it, you might go and work the varsity games like my wife and my family did this weekend, or this past game. We went and ran the concession stand, and then students come in and volunteer on Saturdays, and they'll run the clock. They'll sit at the door and let parents in or visitors in and take $1 or $2 on the way in. But everybody's been doing great this year, volunteering, and we've been working both boys varsity, girls varsity, and then the youth on Saturdays. So it's really nice to see the high school kids come down, because I know that really makes the little kids' day. The 4th, 5th graders, the 6th graders, they love to see those varsity players come down and watch them play, and then they'll talk to them after the game sometimes. So, thanks a lot for that.
That's great.
I
All right.
don't want to steal too much of Mr. Fitzgerald or anyone else's thunder, but I did want to congratulate the competitive cheer team. This is their first year in operation, and they went to 2 competitions so far. They got 3rd place at their first one, and they got 1st place at their 2nd one. And so I was able to go to one that was in Dallastown, and it's very interesting. They do a very nice job.
Any other comments? The Selfridge Publishing. Ms. Brenda, the Selfridge Publishing? No. By the way, the shirts that we all are adoring, this young lady made for all of us. So again, I thank her because it does show good unity. Okay. All right, student representatives. Angie, say your last name.
Serrano.
You're up. I'll teach you to say your last name.
So I'm an 8th grader at Maple Avenue, and I'm the student council treasurer. We've just begun our next pride value, integrity, and that means acting in a way that you know to be right and kind in all situations. All students will be participating in a lesson on integrity in their social studies classes. We will also be selling Valentine's Day bears with artificial roses and candy grams next month. All proceeds will benefit our student council and PBIS funds. Another Spirit Week also happened last week. We just had a Pajama Day, Decade Wars, Brand Wars, and Whiteout Day. And was it January 10th, we had our dance? January 10th 10th, we had our first dance of the school year, and the theme was Blizzard Blast. It was a night of good friends, good music, and good fun. The student council made a $250 profit. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Fitzgerald, you're up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today was the Spanish Honor Society fundraiser at Mod Pizza, actually, and that seems to do very well. I know there was lots of participation for that. Spanish Honor Society also went to the elementary school recently before break to teach some Spanish Christmas traditions, and they are looking forward to visiting again before the school year is over. The Astronomy Club is working on a planetarium field trip to look into more of their astronomy things and get that going. The FFA also recently went to the farm show to check out the new technologies and the modern things, and kind of just as a fun thing for them. And that's all I have to report. Thank you, guys.
And thank you. Mr. Becker is not here, so we have his substitute, Mr. Brees.
Thank you. I'm Mr. Freets. I'm the assistant principal of the high school. I'm here for Dr. Becker, who couldn't make it. So the announcement for the high school. So the events of the high school today were centered around the newly constructed spaces. Teachers began setting up their classrooms in the new wing. Despite the weather, it was a huge successful day. A lot of teachers got a lot done. Everyone involved is super excited about the new space. A huge thank you to everyone who contributed to preparing the area, and a special shout out to the teachers for their flexibility and adapting to the challenges of the move and the logistics involved. Tomorrow, students will be on an asynchronous FID day to give teachers the time they need to settle into those new classrooms. On Wednesday, students will return to the building for a building tour to explore the new construction and learn how to navigate to their updated classrooms. For most, this will be the first look for our students. We've also officially completed the first semester, marking the start of the second half of the school year. We're excited and sure that everyone will be glad to get back into a more routine schedule soon. And then lastly, we want to congrats to our varsity wrestling team and coaching staff for earning a share of the YAIAA Division III title with their victory over Hanover last week. A big shout out to Mr. Polishuk and the entire program for their achievement. And that ends our high school report.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? Hearing none. Ms. Golden, you're up. No, he's not doing your homework. Sorry.
Good evening. So I want to talk a little bit about our extra math program at Maple Avenue this year. We've had extra math before. This year we're doing it a little differently, so I want to point out some of those differences. We're focusing this year on just 6th graders. The reason that we've decided to do that is, quite honestly, the data did not bear out that it was as effective for 7th and 8th graders, mostly because we did have a struggle to get 7th and 8th graders to stay after school and engage in the program. The 6th graders seem to be very engaged and excited and fully participate, and their data then demonstrated better, just better results. Not only that, if we consider 6th grade our foundational year in the middle school, the thought would be that if we can really shore up some of those foundational skills and priority standards at the 6th grade level, then they will be better suited to move forward into 7th and 8th grade with a stronger foundation. So we've invited about 30 6th graders to join us tonight. I hope that you'll vote to approve the scope of work for Mr. Liberty, Mr. Green, and Mr. Barden. 2 of those teachers are currently 6th grade math teachers. Mr. Liberty currently teaches science, but he's math certified and used to teach 7th grade math at Maple Avenue. So we've got basically 3 really strong math teachers who are going to be working with probably about 30 students. So, a 10-to-1-ish ratio, we think will be really great. The way that we selected these students, if you were curious, you may know that scores on the PSSA, student can get advanced, proficient, basic, or below basic. So our below basic students, we didn't necessarily consider for this program because they're already receiving Tier 3 support within the school. So perhaps it's a learning support student or just a student who struggles in math, and they might be getting a math intervention during the school day. and/or in a co-taught math class already. So those most struggling of math students, there's already a plan in place for them. This is really geared towards what we're calling tier 2 students, students who maybe are not below basic, but they're scoring historically from 3rd all the way up through 5th grade at the basic level, meaning that with maybe just a little more face time with their teachers, a little more building on, like I said, those foundational skills, it may be enough, it may be the push they need to push them up to proficiency. So that's kind of the target and the goal for this year, and how it might be just a little bit different than years past, but I think it'll be much more targeted and effective for our purposes at Maple Avenue. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Moran.
So on behalf of the ACES team there, we responded to a recent challenge we had from earlier in the year, with some student decision-making. So we brought in the Burns Health Education Program out of New York for a special presentation to our students K-5, how healthy habits and harmful substances affect the body. Students learned about, so this occurred within the past 2 weeks here at the school, actually here in the boardroom. Students learned about proper nutrition, sufficient sleep, regular physical activity, differences between medications, other drugs, differences between use, misuse, and abuse. Talked a little bit about how nicotine, alcohol, caffeine affect the body and products abused by youth. Talked about decision-making and how we can use those refusal skills to be used in those peer pressure situations involving harmful substances. And then finally, to find a trusted adult where they feel they are, when they feel that they're in an unsafe situation that they can reach out to and work through that. So again, obviously a K-5 approach, and obviously each grade level is a little bit different perspective, but appropriate for the grade level. Second thing I want to share tonight is talking about something new this year with our pilot program. Give students the opportunity to purchase a pass with their full bucks to be a guest speaker on our afternoon announcements. I'm excited to say that we had 87 students show an interest and a desire to participate and spend their full bucks for that. We feel this is a great way to facilitate a student's public speaking skills, so students work with their parents, sort of to collaborate on a positive message to our building that they would share each afternoon. So examples of what students can do, they can share a fun fact about something they find interesting. They can do a shout out to a teacher or a faculty member that has been helpful or supportive of them. They could ask a trivia question. They could share the weather report. They can share a favorite quote, something for them. And then again, making sure just something that could be an appropriate joke. There's like not jokes at the elementary level, so we get to hear a few of those as well. So just excited about that opportunity. We were surprised by how many students found this as a positive incentive for them, as a reward for their positive behavior moving forward. So we're going to continue to expand and build upon that as we go through the school year. Finally, the third thing is, and final thing here tonight is our teachers just finished up their professional development, the iReady training here in our next phase, and really focused on diagnostic 1 to diagnostic 2, and focusing on students' growth and performance. Out of the training, just again, working with our teachers to analyze those reports, to determine student stress, areas of need, and considering improvement, and then obviously the action steps of where we're at, or currently at. And again, teachers use this information to help shape instructional decisions as we move forward. And then I know as we're leading into February, throughout the rest of the year, Dr. Berry is planning to share some of that information as we go through some of the details that are already. So that concludes my report.
Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you. Ms. Becker, you're up. Sean, yes.
Hello, everyone. I have some books circulating around. Tom will end up with you. A lot of them are Tom's kids that he has allowed us to these are some of the examples of books, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and the numbers represent the age group of the kids that they are in. So I just thought I'd bring those so that you can look at them. When you do look at them, please note that one of them is a bilingual book. So twice every year they will get a bilingual book, and it has it in English and in Spanish. And inside the front covers on a lot of the books, they also have tips for the parents on how to interact with their child if they, some like pointers and things that they can talk about with the book. So Brian had asked to see them, so there you go. And
Thank you.
Tom, no, I'll end up with you. You can keep the ones that are yours and just stick the other ones in my mailbox. So finally, giving spree totals for you. We had another very good year. So in our endowment fund for this year, we had added $21,219.63. And our Today Gifts, which is money that we can use now, we had $8,090.96 for a total of $29,310.59. So we had another very good year for the foundation, and it's really helping our endowment to grow, which is going to benefit the district for many years to come. We've been very fortunate to receive a lot of support from within the community and outside the community. So we have LIPA, who has given us $1,500 towards reading STEM in the elementary, and I'm working with Mr. Moran and figuring out the best way to use that money to help the kids in the building. We have received memorial donations for Steve Dutter, and we had a nice contribution from them that they wanted it to go to Latonians and help the Bolts. The Rayfield Foundation, which is not anybody local, they have given us $1,500 towards our Dolly Parton Imagination Library to help support that, because $1,500 will actually help to support about 3 months of the program for us, so that's great. Stock and Leader has given us $500, which is designated for a scholarship that we are creating that will be awarded to a student that is going into education or law. We received $15,000 from the Crystal Bensel family. Now that money is it's passing through us to go to the music department, and we will be working with the music department and how that's going to best work for them to help them. And the Littlestown Eagles also gave us $2,000. So all that came in at just sort of the end of the year. So there's a lot that we're able to do, and it's really going to help us support all of our initiatives. With the Dolly Parton, we are working on helping the entire county. Now we're moving forward, and that was some superintendents. They seem to be very positive about it. So we're moving forward and to make this an opportunity for all children that reside within Adams County. So any child. So I have a team of people that are going to be working with me from around the community, helping me securing funding so that we can make this a county-wide initiative. So that's going to be happening soon. To help with that, we are doing our Whiskey Nut Literacy, the first annual Great Cake Bake, which is going to be on May 4th, right here in this building, and we're going to be doing a fun event that's going to be supporting the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, where we're going to be getting local bakers that are going to decorate cakes and book themes that happen to represent the 30th anniversary of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, because it is 30 years this year. And finally, we were in Celebrate Gettysburg. So we had a nice article. If you can go online, you can read it also, but they did a really nice article outlining and showing who we are, what we do, and how working together with you and with this community has really enabled us to really support the students in this district. So it's amazing that together, because it truly is a partnership and cooperation and working together and being on the same page, which I appreciate all of that from all of you sitting around this table, because you are truly who have helped us be successful, and the positiveness that you have allowed us to bring, and by sharing and just working, that collaboration has been, we are one of the stronger foundations in this county, and you're the reason why we are strong, because you work with us and not against us, and we're all on the same page working together. So thank you for that, and thank you for all your work that you do throughout the year, because I know thankless job and painless job. But thank you, because I truly do understand how much time and energy that you put into this on a weekly basis. And it takes special people working together to be able to do that and to accomplish great things. So thank you for that. Any questions?
I have one.
Sure.
Usually in the spring you do your community aid collection. Are you doing one of those again this year?
We are. They've actually reached out to us about doing another collection because they're actually low on women's and men's clothes. So the positive thing with community aid is we get money back. That money that we earn from contributions that we make goes to Roots Harvest. And so yes, we're going to plan one for the springtime.
Okay.
So yes.
Yeah, I've heard.
And you can put them any time.
Well, I know, but
I know it's easier when we're around.
when you're around and you're doing a big one, it helps to
Yeah, yeah.
do that more.
So, yeah, so they actually have asked us because they're more successful drives for them. And it has paid off because we gave over $1,000 to Roots Harvest last year through those.
So having not participated in one of those events, what does it look like? And do you bring donations to a particular place at the school or another location? Or do you take it to community aid and say, earmark this to the Thunderbolt Foundation?
So if we're having the event, you can bring it to us, just drop it off and then we deliver it. Or you can take it to community aid, and when you drop it off, you just say, this is for the Thunderbolt Foundation.
Gotcha.
They know us well down there, so they will earmark the funds to go towards us from your contribution.
When you say bring it to us, you mean when you have that truck out front of ACES?
Yes, so we always do it on good old days, but we're going to try to do it another
I
time
always thought
also.
you did one in the spring too, that's why I remember.
I'm sorry?
I always thought you did one in the spring.
We did,
At
we
the
started
touch
last
truck.
year, but we might move it up a little bit because they're really low on clothing right now. And they do get back, I mean, we've gotten a lot of grants from them, and I know a lot of people say I'd rather give it for free, but it really has helped us with grants that we have received and what we do with the Roots Harvest program. So.
Anybody else have any other questions?
I just wanted to just refresh my memory, with the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, were we the first school in Adams County to do this? That's really awesome.
Yes, we are.
That's
Yes,
really
we are.
cool.
And everybody else is anxious to jump on board.
Yeah.
Because quite honestly, I'm getting too sad turning my kids from other school districts. So yeah, so we're sort of forging the way with this into the rest of the county, and they're very excited.
That's
To
awesome.
have this opportunity. So it's working together with the rest of this county, great things. So. Okay,
Nice
thank you.
being a leader. Okay. At this time. Yes, B. At this time, we have public comment and LASD public input. We recognize members of the public who have signed up to provide comments as stipulated in policy 903. When your name is called, please approach the podium, state your name, confirm that you're a resident or taxpayer in the school district. Topic of discussion for the record. Please direct your comments to the board as a whole, not an individual. We ask that you limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. The privilege to speak may be interrupted, provoked, or a recess of the meeting may be called by the chair if the speaker does not observe reasonable decorum and orderly conduct. Thank you. And we have one, and it's Susan Johnson.
Yes.
My name is Suzanne Johnson. I'm a district parent, resident, voter, taxpayer. Last week I talked about the calendar. My main question was still not addressed. That the start of the school year, we're only giving teachers 2 professional days. We're the only one in the county that does that. Every other school district gives 3 or more. And the administration on the first draft attempted to give the teachers 3 days, and that was changed. I don't know why. I've asked by email, I've asked what is the benefit of 165 and a half student days versus 175 and a half, at the expense of giving teachers and staff sufficient time to prepare and welcome students to the beginning of the school year, especially when we have all new curriculum for like STEELS standards and things like that. I know that some have argued, well, this is the way we've always done it. But just because we've always done it that way isn't sufficient justification. The world changes, we have different needs, different restrictions, etc. So we need to have a better reason than this is just because we've always done it this way, or I like starting our school on Wednesday instead of Thursday, who cares? The other thing I've also said that's been frustrating is that the public deserves to hear all the deliberation that's happening between you guys on the board and why people are making the decisions that you are. So when you fail to address the comments that are made, or when you have side conversations, or come to miraculous consensus outside of the meeting, such as the athletic fields, there were side conversations happening outside of the meeting, in front of the public, but not in a public meeting. Those things are against the Sunshine Act and not public deliberation, and I think you all need to do better on that. In fact, there was such discourse about the athletic fields decision that the administration brought it back even after the board already made a decision. So I don't understand what's happening there. But again, if I'm getting up here every week, I'm also volunteering my time to review your documents, and I deserve to be heard, and my comments deserve to be addressed. Whether you agree with me or not, I think time and time again, people get frustrated because they give you comments and you don't bother to address them. Even if you don't agree with them, let's bring up the different points of view and talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carl, can I just clarify, the last few years we started school on Wednesday, is that, or Dr. Mitchell, can you answer that?
Yeah.
For the most part? Okay, thank you.
As far as I know, the only way that the public cannot, I mean, we can have conversations as long as there's not 5 people in a conversation, correct?
If it's a quorum of the agency deliberating agency business, that's problematic under the Sunshine Act.
So I thought, all right, just want to make sure.
So you're saying if 2 or 3 people want to talk, that's okay?
Yes, and I want to refrain from going too far with my legal opinion in public, but we also need to be mindful of what some people would call like a walking quorum. If these 2 or 3 people then talk to these 2 or 3 people, and then talk to these 2 or 3 people, that can be problematic also. But
Excuse me,
technically
could you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, technically the standard though is the quorum, correct? Yeah.
Okay. All right, okay. This time, I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting of December 9th, 2024.
So moved, Nick Wall.
Second, Janelle Ressler.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the curriculum, co-curriculum, and policy meeting of January 7th, 2025.
So moved, Nick Wall.
Second, Janelle Ressler. Mary's not here tonight, I'm taking the position.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. I need a motion to approve the finance, property, and supply of January 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Wayne Sullivan.
Wayne Sullivan, sorry. Steve Yeager, second.
Okay. Any discussion as to that? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to approve the work session of January 13th, 2025.
So moved, Nick Wall.
Second, Danielle Brenneman.
Any discussion as to the work session? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Steve Yeager, would you please?
Yes. Under the Finance, Property, and Supply Committee report, does anyone have any items they wish to be pulled or voted on separately?
Yes. C,